We are witnessing World War III. It doesn't look like past wars. It's a stealth war conducted by traitors from within. More times than I can even remember, I'll be on an international television program or a local radio show or sitting down to do a magazine interview, and the reporter will look at me and say, "Oh, if there's this big secret world government, where is it? Tell us who runs it." And I look at him and I say, it's not secret who runs the TPP. It's not secret who runs the IMF and World Bank. It's not secret who runs the UN. It's the programs and operations of these institutions that are secret, quasi-secret, and that claim diplomatic immunity or state immunity. In modern parlance, this is the new royalty. Every time you get to the bottom of who is funding, disarming populations around the world, it's Goldman Sachs. Every time you get to the bottom of who's opening up borders and destroying sovereignty, it's Goldman Sachs. Every time you find out who's financing all this anti-family, anti-fatherhood propaganda, it's Goldman Sachs, followed by JP Morgan and others behind him. And so it's not any surprise that the head of the UN migrant program, who was the founder of the European Union, but now who runs the immigration, the invasion of third world populations, it wasn't any surprise that Peter Sutherland, the chairman of Goldman Sachs globally, openly said that he wants to use third world populations to undermine national homogeneity. And it doesn't stop there with Goldman Sachs. They have been installing their former vice presidents and directors as the presidents and prime ministers of places like Greece and Italy. And they call it technocracy, not dictatorship. Goldman Sachs is literally the devil. It is the top of the pyramid. It is the scourge. It's like the Nazis we fought in World War II. It is the progenitor of all of the crises we face coming out of the New World. Now, we have this from the new George Soros emails. Now, I told you this is the battle plan. In fact, Saturday we shot a video showing public statements from the UN lead envoy who heads up the migration program and immigration program, the migrant program. And we broke all of this down with the headline, UN admits, shocker, UN admits migrant crisis plan to overthrow the left. And we're going to post this Daily Caller article on Infowars.com, where now we have all the emails double proving this. We're just going to under it put my video from Saturday that I came up here and shot, just exposing this. But now we just don't have it from Peter Sutherland. And of course, in the video, I finger Soros and explain that he funded the Arab Spring, the Ukraine overthrow, what's happening here. This is really happening. But let's just go over the stack of news today on this subject alone. Mega banks above the law, tax exempt, diplomatic immunity, going in with education programs to create absolute, total, homicidal hatred of anyone with white skin, and teaching them to hate capitalism, and teaching them that you must go to the United States or Europe or Australia and you must capture it politically as leftist, and that you must then take over government and create a utopia. Now, this is taught in Mexico. This is taught in Nigeria. This is taught in Sudan. This is taught in South Africa. This is taught all over places like Venezuela, Nicaragua, El Salvador. They're all running programs as of this year, officially organized with the UN to bring in people from all over the world that land on airplanes and come in on ships. They're not allowed to stay there. And then they are bussed all the way to the United States, where the Border Patrol waits for them and loads them on buses to ship them into Democratic Party facilities, who then they give them ID cards, set them up on full welfare, more than a Social Security recipient. And then large portions of that money is skimmed and given back to the organized crime combine. You saw shadows of this, tracings of this. We're going to skip the network break. It's too important. I mean, I'm serious. This is just the end of the country, the end of the world we're talking about here. And the Border Patrol even comes out and says, we've been ordered to complete the smuggling process. That's how mega massive all this is. But meanwhile, we have a news report dealing on the surge of illegals coming into the United States, crossing illegally ahead of the election because, quote, they believe they're going to be made legal. No, Hillary has said she will. Here it is.
Every day, dozens of men, women, and children stream through the streets of McAllen, Texas, to this migrant center at Sacred Heart Catholic Church. They've just illegally crossed into the U.S. and have been released by Border Patrol with ankle monitors.
It's a very easy thing for Republicans to say, well, they're busting people in. Well, you know what? We've been busting people in to deal for 50 years, and we're not going to stop now.
Guys, he's funding communist revolutionaries in America. He's funding La Raza, and he's funding Black Lives Matter. That's right, the BLM is funded by a rich old white guy. And for those of you who support Black Lives Matter, you've been had, right? You got duped. And, you know, that's the thing, is a lot of people don't understand this. And if they just knew all of this together, again, I keep saying it again and again, it is to divide and conquer the nation.